My name's Leora Kornfeld, and I'm a media and technology researcher. And I'm here today to talk about work that I've done about the creator economy, the digital creator economy in general. What's really interesting to me about the creator economy, and sometimes I think I was born at the wrong time. I wish I was born a few decades later, because I come from a broadcasting background, so you could say I'm a recovering broadcaster, but I've moved to the research side. But if I was born, 20 years later or 25 years later, I would be much more excited about the possibilities there are now, because in the mass media and broadcast world, the legacy media, and a lot of my work looks at the different industrial organizations of mass media versus digital media. There was a very limited idea of what it meant to be in broadcasting. There was something called broadcast talk, which I was very interested in. I did some graduate work, master's degree at University of London at Goldsmiths College on exactly this, how broadcast talk was a very limited type of talk, and then how it could expand from there. 25 years after I wrote that paper, I see now that expansion of broadcast talk, and that's what we see in the digital creator economy. And for not just women, but for everybody, for women, for kids, for anybody from any sort of background, there used to be a very limited idea of what a broadcast or a media personality was. And now we're moving completely beyond genres, beyond formats, beyond form factors, and that's extremely interesting to me, that we have a media system, a media ecosystem that is extremely open. It's open to experimentation, it's open to a variety of business models, and it's not geographically bounded, which is what broadcasting was. If you were from Canada, as I am, that you were broadcasting largely to Canada. If you're from Brazil, you're broadcasting largely to Brazil. And now we see geographical boundaries pretty much done away with, because the minute you're on a global platform, it doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're selling on eBay, if you're selling on Etsy, if you're a TikToker or a YouTuber, whatever you are immediately in a global market. And that completely changes the game. Starting in about 2008, I was called in to be part of a team that was studying the internet as an economic system. And it was a pretty early time to be doing that. At that time, the biggest companies were companies that now, if you even remember them, aren't really that big at all. I mean, Yahoo and companies like that were big. Facebook was still only available on college campuses. I think there certainly was no Instagram. YouTube was still very, very small. So it was a very different time. And every 4 years, that study would be repeated. And you won't be surprised to hear that every 4 years, the footprint of the internet and the digital economy grew. To the point now where in the U.S., and that's the territory that we study in the report, it's 18% of GDP in the U.S. The U.S. GDP at the time of the study was 27 trillion or so. So 18% of that goes to the digital economy. That's not just digital creators, of course. That's the whole digital economy, which is defined as anything that uses the internet and the internet protocol. That's a little bit of engineering talk, in order to conduct its business. In the most recent study, one of the biggest findings was really the dramatic growth of the creator economy, where media moves from being something made by industrial organizations with hierarchies, for which a lot of financing and funding is required, to something that can literally be a person holding up a phone and talking about whatever topic they want, to larger creators. I know in Brazil, Conzilla is the person who has shown us really what can be accomplished. Mr. Beast in the US is an example, how you can take something like what Conzilla found, and it's so interesting. He started doing, or one of the earliest things was the music of the favelas. And if anybody in television or media or Netflix or the music industry thought that there was a business in that, they would have gone to that. It wasn't obvious to them, and it wasn't obvious to anyone. But what the internet allows people to do is to take a hunch, to take an idea, and to make it real. And it doesn't take a lot of capital to do that. It doesn't take a lot of human resources to do that. You can do it, you can put it out there, you can run your experiment. If you get audiences will tell each other. And that's another part of the magic that we see in the creator economy, is that people, the fans, love to talk to each other. They love to discover things. They love to tell other people about cool things that they themselves found. And the communities evolve that way, and the fandom evolves that way. And the other thing there's many things that are interesting, but the fact that people in the audience like to financially support the digital creators, because one way that digital creators make money is through what's called ad revenue share. So if you're a YouTuber and before your video, in the middle or at the end, there could be an ad running, and then YouTube takes, I think it's 45%, the creator gets 55%, and a lot of people think, oh, that's how the YouTubers make their money. They do make money that way, but that's the smallest form of revenue they make. They make about 3/4 of the money that they make doing brand deals, because brands are now coming directly to creators because creators have audience. And brands, it doesn't matter if they're making chewing gum or an energy drink or shampoo or a pair of shoes, it doesn't matter. They want to be able to reach audiences where those audiences are. And increasingly, audiences are on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, and all of those places. So they're using the digital creators as a conduit, as a way to reach those audiences. So I guess something to think about is how the very definition of what media is has expanded so much, and the very definition of like what a media job is. For the longest time, the idea of being a digital creator, people thought it was kind of a joke or a waste of time, or, what are you trying to have, a viral video? And the viral videos, by their very definition, were one-offs. You would have the viral video, everybody would know who you were for 15 minutes, and then you'd be gone. But the fact now that whoever you are and wherever you are, as long as you make something that really resonates with people, then you can create your own rules and have your own career. The audience is going to be the judge. It's not going to be a movie studio. It's not going to be a bunch of what they call gatekeepers at a TV station or anywhere else. It's up to you. You create your own rules. The audience is ultimately going to decide whether or not they like you. So really, it's up to you. Make something different. Be yourself. Go out there and see what happens. Thanks for having me. It was good to be here, and thanks for your interest in all of this. It's a whole new world out there. Thank you.